Imagine that you're walking through the forest. You swear you hear something behind you, so you quickly turn around and shine your flashlight on this giant bipedal beast staring at you. You smell the stench of it and automatically think, it's Sasquatch. But then you realize that this creature doesn't even have hair, and you're not even in the United States. You're in Western Asia. The locals call it Abnau, or Shy Boy of the Woods. Reported sightings have occurred throughout the 19th and 20th centuries. In fact, one of the most bizarre cases happened during the mid-19th century in Ajaria, Georgia. A nobleman named Egi Ganaba was said to have captured an Abnau in the woods surrounding Ajaria. He brought her to a local farm where the farmers put her to work. As she lived at the farmer took note of the strange behavior the creature he named Zaina had. She seemed to be mute and only communicated using grunts and muttered noises. She only ate certain things such as grapes, and when it was night, she would dig a hole in the ground to sleep in. She was eventually trained to work on simple tasks around the farm and to fetch firewood during the wintertime. To make this case even more strange, Zaina was said to have offsprings with some of the local men in town. Almost 100 years later, two of her grandchildren were interviewed by Boris Porshnev in 1964. One of them, Shalukula, was said to have been able to pick up a chair with a man in it using only his teeth. A few theories have emerged trying to explain what the Abnau and Zaina were, ranging from surviving Neanderthals to extraterrestrial beings. However, the most reasonable and conclusive theory is that the legend of the Abnau was based on reported sightings of an indigenous people living in the forest of Western Asia. This would explain why Zaina was so intelligent and how she could reproduce with human males. Even more conclusively were the findings of the remains of Zaina's son, Quit. Studying the structure of his skull and DNA testing read the same result. Zaina was definitely and unquestionably a Homo sapiens. The Abominable Snowman. After tales came back from Mount Everest about a man-beast roaming the mountains, people were looking to read about the creature. The phrase abominable snowman was coined by Calcutta statesman columnist Henry Newman in 1921. But how did the creature get to be known as the abominable snowman? Let's find out. Lieutenant Colonel Charles Howard Bury led a reconnaissance expedition into Mount Everest. The group stumbled upon some tracks that Howard Bury thought the tracks may have been created by a loping gray wolf. His Sherpa guide said that it came from a Meto Kagmi. Meto would translate to man-bear, and Kagmi would translate to the snowman. Confusion about the name probably came about after a telegraphist miscoded the Meto Kagmi to Mech Kagmi, where Newman claimed that Mech Kagmi translated to abominable snowman. However, we can see that the translation is supposed to be closer to man-bear snowman, as the word mech did not occur in the Sherpa language. The Abanisai. Tales recorded from Africa by early explorers include the mention of little men that inhabit the deep jungle. One such creature is the Abanisai. The Abanisai is a small hominid creature that allegedly lives in the northern Togolese Republic in Africa. It is a forest-dwelling primate that has long black hair. Many cryptozoologists, include Lauren Coleman, pointed out that the Abanisai could be part of a larger group of unknown primates that inhabit Africa because of similar reports that come from different parts of the continent. Possible theories of the Abanisai range from a misidentified chimpanzee to a surviving relic of the Australopithecus. Bernard Heuvelmans, the father of cryptozoology, postulates that the Abanisai could have been a human. In his book, The Human Beast of Africa, Heuvelmans is quoted as saying, "Now there is no name, even among the anthropoids, which normally walk upright on its hind legs. Perhaps they are therefore really little men." The term ABSM will pop up once in a while when I've been researching unknown hominids from around the world. ABSM, standing for Abominable Snowman, was coined by researcher Ivan T. Sanderson in his book, Abominable Snowman, Legend Come to Life. He later adapted the term to discuss any unknown primates from around the world. So if you've ever seen this term while researching cryptozoology, now you know what it stands for. The Abyssal Rainbow Gar. The Abyssal Rainbow Gar is a cryptid deep-sea fish spotted only once by William Beebe during a bathysphere dive off the coast of Bermuda in 1934, nearly 2,500 feet below the Atlantic Ocean's surface. Beebe noted the creature seemed to be 4 inches long, with slender and stiff bodies and long, sharp, pointed jaws. They had scarlet heads, blue bodies, and yellow tails, which is very abnormal at the recorded depth. Normally, creatures at this depth lack any colorful bodies, as they want to blend in with the darkness. He relayed these details by radio to his colleague, Gloria Hollister, who was at the ocean surface. The Abyssal Rainbow Gar was one among many of the weird fish Beebe described on his descent, but it remains the only fish he did not assign a scientific name to. There's been countless theories of what the fish could have been, ranging from misidentified giant dragonfish to a hoax created by Beebe. What do you think? The giant acorn worm. The adult version of the type, Planktosphera pelagica, has never been observed in the wild. The larva measures much larger than the regular acorn worm and may result in a fully matured specimen ranging in size from up to 9 feet. If they were to exist, the creatures would live in mud at a depth of over 250 feet deep. Along with the abyssal rainbow gar, I believe this cryptid has a very high chance of existing, since there is much of the ocean left to be discovered. The Adam Ayu is a wild man that has been spotted in the Tian Shan Mountains in northern Xinjiang Autonomous Region in China. Many early Yeti explorers quickly grouped this cryptid into sightings of the abominable snowman. However, there are many different characteristics that may separate the two hominids. The Yeti is described as being more ape-like, while the Adam Ayu is described to resemble a man. If the creatures do exist, I believe they would be two separate species. From the very brief entries in the Encyclopedia, I can piece together that the Adam Ayu and the Adam Zepas are probably the same creatures but known by different names to the local people. I can base this on two facts: that the creatures are both allegedly sighted in the Xinjiang Autonomous Region of China, and both have Adam, which translates to man. For clarity, Adam Ayu is Kazakh for man bear, while Adam Zepas is Kyrgyz for wild man. Both Kazakh and Kyrgyz fall under the Kipchakik branch of Turkic, so I believe that the two names are referring to the same cryptid, the Ajule. One of the simpler cases of cryptozoology is that of the Ajule. This cryptid canine has been spotted in the North African region, close to the Sahara Desert. The creature is described as being 2.5 feet tall and weighing an estimated 30 to 45 pounds. It is also reported to hunt in packs, ranging from 3 to 13 dogs. Many of the local people claim that the canine has supernatural powers of sorts. Theodore Monod first reported the Ajule in 1928, and there has been several sparse sightings of the creature, the last being in 1992 by some hunters of a village in western Mauritania. Despite the lack of sightings, it may be fairly simple to distinguish that this cryptid is an African wild dog that is outside of its usual range, that may have varied into a subspecies. The Adleke Titan. The Adleke Titan, a Big Four mountain man, is a wild man that has allegedly been spotted in the northwestern Caucasus Mountains of Russia. It is described to closely resemble the Abnau in appearance. In fact, it could actually be the same creature. Throughout the series, we're going to see many instances where multiple entries in the encyclopedia seem to be discussing the same creature from two different cultures. However, it is very important to note that if many different cultures seem to describe the same creature, something must be lurking in the woods. The Afa is a scientifically undiscovered lizard that is reported to inhabit the marshes at the mouth of the Tigris River. Only once reported by explorer Wilfred Thesiger in his book, The Marshy Arabs. The creature belongs only to the folklore of the local Madan people, although it is theorized that the rush depicted in the Ishtar Gates could be that of an Afa. Despite the lack of sightings, Carl Schucker believes that the Afa could be a large, undescribed species of monitored lizard. He also notes that the marshes where the Afa is said to inhabit were destroyed in 1991 in efforts to force the Madan people to relocate and turn the marshes into the desert that it is now. If the creature once existed in the marshes, we may now never know its true identity. This is the beginning of a new series that I will be working on. I will be creating new videos covering each and every creature in George Eberhardt's Mysterious Creatures. Thank you for taking time out of your day to watch this video. It means a lot to me. If you like this episode and would like to see more in the future, please like this video and comment what was your favorite cryptid that I just covered. If you have not already, please subscribe to my channel and see more content similar to this. Thank you again for stopping by and have a great week. Bye.